20 points. 20 points after 12 games. Very un-West Ham-like. Now, I said it before, the plus goal difference. Still plus 5. Very un-West Ham-like. But 12 games, 20 points. 20 points before Christmas is an achievement for West Ham. And we've still got quite a few games to go over the Christmas period. And I'm absolutely loving it. This is not too bad at all. I'm now starting to figure out what it feels like to be a fan of another club. And the example I'm going to use is Everton. This is what it feels like to be an Everton fan. I can't remember Everton getting relegated. I just can't. I can't. If they have, I don't remember it. I remember the old Everton winning titles under Howard Kendall and stuff like that. Good team, really good team. Remember the odd cup run under, I think, was it Joe Royal? Maybe Joe Royal. Did he win the cup for Everton? I'm not so sure. But Everton don't go into every season thinking we just got to avoid relegation this season. What it feels like to be an Everton fan is we're going to be in the top half. We're going to be quite comfortable. We're not going to win the league, but we're all right. Now, the irony is that Everton this season, after the first 3 or 4 games, might well have been thinking that they were going to win the league. But this situation that West Ham are in, I think it's absolutely lovely because, quite frankly, I'm enjoying feeling like an Everton fan at the moment because it means I'm not feeling like a West Ham fan. It means, at the moment, I'm going into each game thinking we can win this. I know I predicted a loss against Man U, but in the main, I'm predicting wins at the moment. And I just think we're playing really, really well. We're not the most beautiful team on the eye. But again, it's something that I will accept at the moment. I've got to be honest, I quite enjoy the set plays. I get quite excited when we get one. The VAR sucks the passion out of you a little bit because you want to check, is it a goal, is it a goal? And the VAR is something that needs to be addressed for me anyway. You may well feel differently. But what we saw against Leeds was a really wonderful performance. And David Moyes has got to take an awful lot of credit for everything that's gone on, and his backroom team as well. I'd loved watching him on the sidelines. You see him when he was with Paul Nevin. Paul Hilton. Is it Paul Nevin on the touchline? Doing something sneaky, doing something tactical. Oh yeah, go on. Whatever you got up your sleeve, let's have a little bit of that. I think it was 1-1 possibly at the time. And I think even the commentator might have said it. They're figuring out a way to unpick to pick the lock. And we got there in the end. And you know what? It might be seen as crude in terms of the set plays. 3 games in a row we scored from set plays. But the other teams have got to deal with it. And I quite enjoy the way opposition managers are talking about us. They're talking about us like we're a nuisance. They say, these are the words, by the way, they've got a certain style of play. I've heard that over the years. I've heard us say it again about other people. You heard Pep Guardiola, Arsene Wenger used to say it an awful lot whenever he lost to a team that didn't play the sort of fluid, beautiful football that Arsenal used to play. Well, actually still play. And look how far ahead in the league we are of Arsenal, by the way. We play a certain way. We're an annoyance. We're an irritation. Well, I like it. I like being an irritation. I like being a nuisance. And it is not as crude as everybody thinks. These set plays are well thought out. There's a lot of strategy to them. We know this guy. We know this Paul Nevin. Calling Paul Hilton again. We know he had these sort of tactical plans when he was doing it for Gareth Southgate at the World Cup. England looked really, really good. They haven't looked quite as good since he's come away, actually. And it's sort of like an American football, like what's it called, an NFL set play. They call it like a playbook. Because everything when the American sport's all very regimented because they changed the offence for the defence. And there's basically 2 lines. So it almost starts off, I think, in American football like a chess match. And they've very much got these set plays, so he's going to pass it back to the quarterback. There's going to be someone going to make a dummy run, take some with him. Someone's going to do that. The quarterback's going to throw it to him and off you go. You can see my knowledge of American football is not great. But it's called a playbook. And I think we seem to be treating set plays like that. It's nothing new. We're not the first team to have ever done that. Don't get me wrong. I just think it's working really, really well. And there's sort of innovations and there's tweaks. So I think when you're going to come up against West Ham, when you're going to do your scouting, you might look at some of our previous set plays and you might take the little nuanced parts out of it, but we might do it slightly differently. We might start in a flat line. We might start in a horizontal line or a vertical line or whatever. And they might congregate the back post, run to the front post. And by and large, we are scoring them at the back post, though. It's very, very hard to defend against. I don't think it's any secret. If I've noticed it and you've noticed it, opposition managers would have noticed it. But noticing it and combating it are two very, very different things. Okay, well, there's a guy at the back post going to nod it in. What are you going to do about it? In the previous game, it was slightly different. It was Declan Rice flicking it on. Souček came in at the back post. Wasn't a header, granted. But it was slightly different. Maybe they were concentrating on the back post. They forgot to mark Declan Rice, who then flicked it on. You look at Ogbonna, slightly different. I know it wasn't a corner, but still a set play. The Souček goal again. I mean, a lot of that is about the individual there as well. Bowen's got to do the delivery and Souček's got to climb above his man, which wasn't particularly hard because it was Bilbo Baggins who was marking him. But you've got to win your individual duels, and I think we're absolutely doing that. Now look at the improvement of some of the players. You look at the improvement, not just in performance, but of stature, of someone like Balbuena. And when I say stature, I don't mean his physical stature. I mean his stature within the hierarchy of the defence, within the squad unit. He's gone from an also-ran, a side issue, to one of the main guys. That's got to be good for your confidence. That's got to be really, really good. I bet he must be walking into training with his chest puffed out. I'm the general. I'm Balbuena, you know. And again, fair play on the squad. Fair play on David Moyes for putting him back in. But a massive fair play to Balbuena for going from a position whereby you can understand he might be a little bit melancholy, he might be a little bit down on himself because he's not featuring in the team. It doesn't look like he can get a chance. But he goes in and he grasps his chance. And now you ain't shifting him from the team. Craig Dawson's, I reckon when Dawson signed, he might have looked at the team and thought, oh, okay, Balbuena, I can possibly get in there. He's not really a favourite of the manager. He ain't getting in there now. I honestly, I think Balbuena's playing so well. Not even sure if we'd have signed old Charkowski. Not the composer, obviously. It's a composer. Rather a decomposer. Actually, that's a bad joke. I shouldn't do that one. But the Burnley centre-half, I'm not entirely sure he would get into the team, even now if we signed him now. That's how good Balbuena is playing. And I'm just loving what I'm seeing from the team in a new formation. Something fresh, and those two absolute stalwarts in the centre of midfield in terms of Souček and Declan Rice. I think they're formidable. I'm looking forward to seeing them challenging the other teams. I'm looking forward to seeing them coming up against other midfields. I actually thought we played better against Man United, really, than we did against Leeds. But eventually, we wore them down. And it's like we don't have any quality. We do have quality. But it gets to a point whereby we got to the match yesterday, and David Moyes said, actually, no more quality. Ben Rama, off you come. I've not discussed Ben Rama. Ben Rama is going to have his own video all to himself because he's a bit special, isn't he? I think we need to talk about him. I think we want to talk about him, and so he can have a video all to himself, as can a couple of others. I think also Diop. Sorry, I should have mentioned it before. I was talking about Balbuena. Diop wasn't on the bench for tactical reasons. Shall I do it? Tactical. I hate doing that, but I'll do it anyway. For tactical reasons. Massive feather in the cap for Balbuena. Brings up questions for Diop. Again, we're going to deal with that in a separate. We've got Christmas content to fill here, children. We've got Christmas content to fill. What was I saying? So yeah, I just mean in terms of the team, and in terms of the way they're playing, and in terms of the way we're sort of starting to dominate them, I really like it. And what I was saying about the quality, Moyes very much said quality off the pitch. We're going to see it out now. We'll have Ben Johnson. You're going to play as a left winger, make it extra solid then. Mark Noble, you can come on, solidify it up, win a, take the cards, win yourself, make it difficult for the opposition. I like the way he did it. And I don't mind. And the funny thing is, when I've been looking, just for doing previous videos, I've looked at Moyes' record, I've looked at Moyes' time at Everton. And at Everton, they tired of that. They got bored of that. But I do think Everton and West Ham are slightly different clubs. I think in terms of size, in terms of fan base, there ain't a lot in it. Who's got the most fans? I don't think there's an awful lot in it. In terms of history, well, they've won some league titles. We've never won league titles. And you've got to go back a little while for our heyday when when we were winning some trophies was a lot longer ago than it was for Everton. So they've had more recent success than we had. So maybe after 10 years of David Moyes, they were a bit sick of their defensive substitutions and whatever. That's fine. But I think when you put it into the context of West Ham, actually, I think it's absolutely fine. I'm really pleased to see it. I'm really pleased to see the organisation. I'm really pleased to hear other opposition managers and fans use dirty words. What they think are dirty words like organised and tough to beat and set plays and headers and all this stuff, which you wouldn't traditionally really have associated with West Ham, with the way we play, with the West Ham way. But it is effective. And it's got us 20 points on the board already. And we quietly go about our business under the radar. People talk about Everton at the start of the season. People talk about Leeds. Big build-up on Sky Sports. Lots of talk. Bielsa, his style of play, the high press, blah, 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 blah. West Ham didn't get quite so much coverage. That's under the radar. Actually, you probably wouldn't whistle if you're going under the radar. Nice and quiet. Lots of talk about Wolves. In fact, I'll have a little look. As I record this, Wolves are playing Aston Villa. Well, you know what? We've beaten both of them. That's something to be proud of. What's the score there? Wolves, that's 0-0. Two teams we've beaten. Lots of talk about Wolves. Lots of talk about Aston Villa. Again, we just carry on under the radar. There's a lot of teams in that league. There's a lot of teams who we're higher than in that league. And we're doing it. And we're doing it well. I really like it. I really like this new identity of West Ham. And it needs to be sorted. It needs to be sorted out for quite a long time. It has to be said. We've had a soft underbelly for too long. For too long, we've been praised by opposition managers. Oh, good West Ham. They came and had a go. They played. Little pat on the head, little rub of the tummy. Well done, West Ham. Well done. Not patronised so much, but actually, Moyes made the point yesterday in his press conference. He said he wanted to make it, he didn't want West Ham to be a pushover anymore. And what he meant was he wanted us to contest bad decisions. The VAR decision for this one. Well, I take what he said. I don't particularly agree with that. I don't think there's an awful lot you can do about it. I've yet to see a referee or a VAR committee be convinced to overturn what they eventually decided. But I do agree with the ethos of us not being pushovers anymore. I do like the idea that people go to West Ham or West Ham come to them, and it's going to be a tough game. It's not going to be easy. And I particularly like the idea that actually when it's all said and done, we finish playing against a team like we would have done against Leeds today, because that is always a tough fixture. Away at Ellen Road is a tough fixture. Granted, worse when the fans are in there, for sure. But they're a good team, Leeds. Leeds will put 3-4 goals past other teams this season. However, I really sort of like the fact that when all said and done, I reckon Bielsa or his coaches or the players or whatever the case may be, once all our players have got on the team bus and we've left Ellen Road and we're on our way back down to sunny Stratford or wherever it may be, Bielsa, via his translator of course, may well turn around and say, that was horrible. West Ham, thank goodness we've only got to play them one more time this season.